Welcome back to Engadget at E3 2017. We're live, it's day 3, final official day. It's all going to be over by the end of the day. I am not Jessica Condi, editor at Engadget.
And I'm not Matt Smith, UK Bureau Chief.
Thank you very much for that awful
Something
introduction.
like that.
Yeah, very subtle. We're a bit broken now. The week's been long. We played awful lot of games. We had to stand up a long time. We've had to line up for nearly everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're clearly delirious because we're sitting on the wrong sides of the stage right now.
Yeah, this is not where we're meant to be.
This feels wrong. E3 is wrong. E3's canceled. Sorry, everyone go
I'm going home. I'm going home. So what have we done yesterday? I had something very cool.
Yeah, you did.
So late yesterday, I got to go to Ubisoft's kind of off-site HQ and hear all about Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that's actually happening now. Beyond Good and Evil 1 came out in 2003. It came out on the GameCube, if that helps, place it in the timeline. It's been a very long time coming. And we had Michel Ancel, the man who created it, here talking about, the new game. They have a whole new engine. It's all about scale. It's got that kind of insane No Man's Sky expansiveness to it.
Right.
I mean, it's not procedurally generated planets. I mean, God. Michel talks about all these different parts of the game, and it's kind of like, ooh, everything sounds very exciting, very grand. It's so insanely ambitious.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
And he's delivered in the past, but I mean, this is a new generation. This is even more ambitious.
Yeah,
are you hopeful that it's going to happen?
I'm really hopeful. You can kind of like the enthusiasm and the kind of on-brand message of the team behind it. It's just so kind of positive and intriguing, and you want it to succeed. They had all this concept art scattered around the room. We have a lot of it, actually. We uploaded a lot of it to Engadget if you want to take a closer look. So they have these ideas of how it will look, how it will feel. And the coolest thing I learned is that, that kind of monkey grapple hand dude, his name's Znox. That's not actually who you're going to be playing as. You'll actually just get to create your very own character. So you can be a boy, you can be a girl, you can be old, young, your ethnicity. You can even be, a monkey hybrid or a pig monkey hybrid, whatever. Yeah, so you get to pick who you are. And not only that, you don't all start in the same place either. According to Michel, they're working on trying to make it so that you'll even get to choose where you start. It might be a prison ship, it might be a planet in the middle of nowhere. And that's really exciting. So you can have all these very different stories from the same game.
And we've seen a bit of that in games recently. I mean, online capabilities have really changed how games are developed and how they're played, and that's one example. Absolutely.
He also used he picked up Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild as an inspiration thing. He says we're not, he was saying we're going to try not to do kind of panels upon panels of tutorials and text on screen, because if you design the game right, you don't need that stuff. And it's completely true. And Breath of the Wild was God, my favorite game in a very long time. It's an incredibly well-made game. And I've seen it kind of pop up here and there. It's kind of influencing games, which I wouldn't say a Nintendo title has done for a very long time, like Mario 64.
Not for a long, but they used to do it.
Yeah, exactly. They used to set the pace. And I think Zelda is then back on form with that.
Absolutely.
Another thing I noticed, I played Far Cry 5 yesterday, so maybe we'll talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
And I've also seen Assassin's Creed, though I haven't quite got to play it yet. And you notice the maps have gone, the little mini maps on screen have gone. So you kind of, they've kind of tidied away that HUD. In Far Cry, they just kind of have a very delicate halo, that rotates around you, so you can still see, your quests and where you're going. But
oh, that's good. I
It's
like that.
very clean. It's very elegant.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes it a bit more immersive within the game. What else about Beyond Good and Evil 2? So they had an in-game engine running, and then Ancel is just kind of panning out. So he pans out from the monkey to a giant spaceship, to a giant statue of Ganesh, to the city, to the continent, to the planet, to the solar system.
Awesome.
And it just zips, it just kind of scales and scales and scales and scales, and it's very quick, very agile, and I think they were just trying to prove they've made something that exists now, which is kind of important.
I mean, honestly, I think it's impressive that they kept it a secret.
Yeah, right.
We didn't hear anything about this before.
And we've had little bits of teases, but I thought it could be a CGI movie or something very low in ambition, but it's completely the opposite. Yeah, it's very exciting. I think they've just got the full might of Ubisoft behind them.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking, did they get to make Beyond Good and Evil 2 because Michel's just made them so much money through Rabbids?
Oh, well, I assume, right?
Right? Is that just giving them carte blanche for
maybe
French?
Maybe the... Oh, my God. Maybe the Rabbids Nintendo deal was the final, like, okay,
make your giant galactic space opera with monkeys with grappling hook hands,
Rabbids have hit their high water mark, clearly.
But that's totally my kind of exciting game of the show, and it's not even a game yet, it's just so hyped about it, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And what about your day? What were you doing?
So yesterday for me was Indie Day, basically. I was running around from the stage to the Devolver parking lot in the Indie Mega Booth that's out there, which is always a nice little break from the convention show floor.
Outdoors is nice.
Yeah, outdoors is nice, and they have just, picnic tables and tents, Airstream trailers in the parking lot right across the street from the convention center, just filled with indie games, filled with Devolver games. And I generally like what Devolver has on offer.
Right.
They do, Hotline Miami, and Genital Jousting was there with dildo controllers, of course.
Tell me more about this genital jousting, please.
I don't know how many times I can say
those words.
I can say genital, I think.
Yeah, that's the right one, yeah.
But, I mean, it's just always a good time. There's always just a bunch of developers hanging out and a bunch of people just taking a break from the show.
Very much seems like the projects they do is them cutting loose and just, not conventional stuff, It's like like an antithesis of like the churny, updated iterative games. So you're going to get insane, nonsensical games. Like, what was your highlight from that part?
So the Indie Mega Booth is where I kind of focused my attention because we had someone else, Nick Summers, was actually seeing all the Devolver games, like Absolver.
It's good. We should keep him very busy.
I know.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to
do all the indie games. Go.
The Indie Mega Booth though had this one game. There were a few, like Songbringer. I had the developer of him actually on the stage earlier, and Masquerada, which is coming to consoles. It's a really cool game. Nidhogg 2 was there. And Semblance was this game I hadn't seen before. But it's this little platformer where you're a little blob, and you actually build out the platforms as you go. So like, there'll be a platform here, you have to get something above it, so you go underneath it and tip, 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 like Play-Doh, move the platform up, and then use that to navigate.
And then you kind of get up.
So you're like building the game as you go, you have to think about platforms in a different way. It was really, really cute.
And what's that called again?
Semblance.
Semblance.
Yeah.
And is that coming out to places beyond Indie Mega Booth?
As far as I know, it's coming out soon, but I'm not exactly sure when. But yeah, so the Devolver booth was incredible, or parking lot was incredible.
Were a lot of people drunk already when you went?
It was like maybe 11 a.m.
So yes.
So yeah.
I remember going last year, and some people get messy there.
Yes, but I mean,
me.
Matt gets messy at Devolver. That's okay. That's okay.
11 a.m.
It's better out there than in here where it's just gonna drive you insane.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. What else did I? So yeah, I got to play lots of games yesterday, which is awesome. I still have to write half of them up. So Far Cry 5. I said I was going to talk about Far Cry 5.
Please.
Oh, it's really good. I haven't played a Far Cry game since maybe 3.
Yeah.
And I got really into the first Far Cry.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, what Far Cry are we on? We're on 5.
We're on 5. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yes. So Far Cry 5, like the main, like it still tastes like a Far Cry game. Blood.
But does it taste like a Nintendo cartridge?
No, right? Yeah.
We'll never know.
Yeah. Kind of similar bitterness, I think.
Yeah.
And so, fortunately, I got to play it on a PlayStation controller, which helps me out because I'm not very good with Xbox controllers. And it was fantastic. Now, the main takeaway from Fallout 5, Far Cry 5, is your allies, your buddies, your team. And you might have seen in the trailer, you've got a sniper, you've got a guy that'll fly a plane around and bomb things, and then you have a dog called Boomer. Yay!
Yay, dog.
So obviously I went for the dog called Boomer. That's my Fallout 4 sensibilities coming out.
Of course.
And yeah, it's fun. So you're playing the exact same level you saw in the trailer. So you start at the top of a hill in front of a church that's been taken over by these bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
These horrible cultist people. They're burning a cross in front of the church. And as you sneak down, you see them just take a baseball bat to some poor person's back of the head, and you're like, oh yeah, this is Far Cry. That's how these things go.
Right, yeah.
And so you can send Boomer the dog off to kind of attack, some awful person, and then you sneak up. Dynamite is useful.
Really?
Yeah,
already?
Things. Yeah.
They're just throwing you right into dynamite.
The first time I tried to just go gung-ho, so I was just blasting them with my submachine gun, tearing through them, and then I died.
Yeah.
And then I went a bit more sneaky, and they always have a guide to kind of a real human next to you as you play these demos. It's like, maybe use the dynamite, and I'm like, okay, sounds like a good idea. So I threw some dynamite, that blew up something, and then a huge I think a fuel truck came, and I threw another dynamite at that, and then that just
That's
kind of
good.
leveled the playing field.
Yeah. Or
But
just
it-
leveled the field.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah. And that was just only part of the demo, so I kind of forgot to go in the church, even though that's the kind of
Right.
centerpiece of it. So
I
was
always
just killing
forget to go
everyone.
to
I was just
church.
killing everyone.
That's okay.
And then I moved on to the next quest. There's a bit of like, exposition. You meet a few people, and they said, you should help this guy. He has a plane. So it's, your future ally.
Sure.
And so you hop over there, and you get into I don't understand why. Maybe I just couldn't hear the dialogue, but for some reason you have to fly the plane at that point in the game. So
Sure.
the pilot doesn't do it. He's like, you need to blow up these silos. I'm like, you're the pilot, you do it. So I get in the plane, I blow up some silos, and this is the coolest bit because I didn't even think that was going to happen. All of a sudden I get some, like a radio signal from the pilot himself. He's like, uh-oh, we've got a bogey on your tail, and there's this other prop plane shooting from behind you.
Oh,
like one of
cool.
the cultists is in a plane, we're
That's
having a little
great.
mini dogfight.
Wow.
That was really fun. Like, unexpected. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
God,
you
now I've got to
wouldn't.
learn how to steer this damn thing. But yeah, it was really fun. And yeah, like, this game isn't coming out till, February next year, I think?
I would assume, yeah. That makes
so
sense. Yeah.
it's quite far away still, but this is it feels pretty much the real game we're playing. And yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't played a Far Cry in a long time, but
Yeah.
I like the idea of teammates. One of the things they said in the trailer that I really want to hear more about is this co-op mode.
Yeah.
So the idea is not just these kind of fixed in point NPCs, like helping you out, but like literally your buddy can kind of hop into the game, I don't know, snipe someone, or
That's
I don't know
cool.
how that would work, but
I
they,
like
they
that.
introed it in the trailer. There was like dog, sniper, pilot, buddy kind
Buddy,
of thing. Yeah,
friend.
yeah, co-op.
If
And
you have friends, yeah.
I'm really intrigued how they're going to make that work.
I guess we'll hear more, before it comes out, right?
Right. I also played. I just did the Ubisoft. I just hit Ubisoft hard.
Yeah.
And the next game I played was Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Skull and Crossbones or Skull and Bones?
I think it's Skull and Bones.
Okay.
I might have said it wrong in the video.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's Skull and Bones. And yeah, that's just Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the ship bit, all over again.
Exactly. Yeah.
It played identically, so I knew what I was doing, which is nice. They still do sea shanties, which is very important.
Okay.
Like, for like those gaming mags that still rate games out of 10, that probably adds a 1 to the score. It's definitely an 8.4.
Pirate shanties,
Yeah, pirate shanties. And yeah, the only thing was that I can't see where they're going to go with it.
Right. Like, is that it? Is it just that section of Black Flag?
Like, it's a multiplayer game, so that's how
Right.
it's different. And there's like 3 different types of ship, and there's dynamics about how you play. So you can kind of kill, you can kill the enemy team's ships for loot. That's the
Sure.
word. You can also kill like just boats that are around for loot, and then you have to escape within a certain time limit. Now there's going to be other game modes and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But a ship sailing across the sea isn't the most elegant transport. Like, I love the Black Flag, the ship elements of
Right.
Black Flag, but getting places and getting from, that battle to that battle is a bit laborious.
It's the journey, not the destination, Matt.
Ugh.
You just need to change your philosophy of life, and then you'll be fine.
I'll do that later.
Yeah.
I'll do that later.
Well, we've seen a few other like ship or pirate themed
yeah.
game, like Sea of Thieves
Thieves,
is
yeah.
still. So maybe this pirate aesthetic is coming back or something. But honestly, it
There isn't that
doesn't
much
feel
to it,
tied
right?
to anything really.
No,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Pirates of the Caribbean was a long time ago.
I think there's still a new one coming out, but who cares?
Just let Johnny Depp have a rest. Please.
Could we just-
let him wipe off the makeup for a
Can
little
he
bit or something,
sleep?
yeah?
Yeah.
What else?
So I saw actually, my indie day was not over at the Mega Booth. I went after that to the Indiecade Booth, which is
just-
actually right over here.
Yeah.
It's right behind us. And that's another one of my favorite places at E3. Because it's just a bunch of indie games. I think they have 36 this year. And it's like a preview.
And you played them all, right?
I played all of them for an hour each.
Yeah.
It was great.
Had no sleep.
It only took me half an hour.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it worked out.
awesome.
So yeah, this is like a preview for their New York show that they have, their Indiecade proper.
Right.
And the theme this year, because they actually curated a theme based around a game jam they had, which was the Resist Jam. So a lot of the games in the booth today are resistance themed. The Cat in the Hijab was a game actually that came out of the Resistance Jam. And Borders is another one. It's about immigration and border crossing. Riot was there, and not Riot Games, Riot the game. And it just a bunch of games that really take this idea of people or communities that have been oppressed and changing that narrative and really highlighting those stories. And it was a really cool thing to see. I talked with the founder and the leader, and she talked about how important that was to the team right now. just as games are entering mainstream conversation of art, society, all that stuff.
I think especially the indie games the last few years. Now you can get it on your PlayStation, on your Xbox,
Exactly.
on your Switch even, you know?
Everywhere. Your
everywhere.
phone.
Bloody everywhere.
Your phone, your PC, yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's never been a better time to kind of get in with it. It's funny though, like you hear people's conversations as you walk around the floor. I walked past these two people, and one guy was like, "Ugh, indie games. I hate indie games." I'm like, "You don't even know."
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What
is the indie game
mean?
you hate? And like, you could easily suggest several indie games that are huge,
Right.
huge hits that you've probably played. But
Oh, yeah.
it's the assumption, isn't it? I think they're kind of gelling it with indie bands or something. I don't know what mentally their process is, but
Well, and that was the conversation I had on stage, actually. Like,
it might have me doing a Sieg there.
and that was pretty good. I
I'm
liked
a pro.
it.
I've been doing
I
this for
know.
3 days
but
now.
then you called it out, so now you're
Damn
not
it.
a pro.
I thought I was just breaking the third wall.
3 walls, 4th wall, whatever. That's fine. So yeah, I had a few indie developers on stage talking about like what even is indie, and that question has been asked and answered a million different ways, a million different times.
Right.
But
But you have the definitive answer, right?
Yep, we figured it out. We cracked
Right,
it.
we cracked
we
it.
Have,
It's on Wikipedia.
It's on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, with dictionary.
But that's just the thing. Indie means something different to everyone, basically. Like there may be an aesthetic to it. It may be actually the studio itself that makes it indie to you. And technically, to the developers I talked to, which was Hotline Miami creator Dennis Whedon,
Cool.
Ben Ruiz, who did Aztez, which looks incredible. It's coming out soon. And Erin Robinson Swink, who did Gravity Ghost, and she's now a professor at USC Berkeley, which is incredible. So
That's a pretty killer panel.
dude, it was. Like, they had some great insight into just, to them, indie was complete independence, of course, from anyone telling you what to do to your game.
What to make kind of thing.
Yeah, stopping you from making the game you want to make. So, yeah, we talked about just misconceptions and what it means to use social media while you're an indie game developer, which is a huge part of development and marketing and honestly, just some trends we saw at the show where Sony and Microsoft are kind of stepping back from the indie game a little bit. And these developers felt that from their side as well. And they talked about how the communities are coming together, to kind of fill those voids and really support each other and get these games out there anyway.
Right.
But it's an interesting time for indie development because it's established, it's growing, but now it's losing a little bit of love from the top.
They're losing a bit of the support from the corporations.
So it feels, yeah.
I mean, going back to something we saw much earlier this week at EA. I mean, I've forgotten the name of the game now.
Get Out.
Get Out of the Way, or whatever it's called.
Get Out's a good movie.
Yeah.
A Way Out looks like a great
The
game.
Way Out, yeah. The Way Out. And that's an indie developer who...
Hazelight, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously they're working under an EA umbrella.
Right.
But, we talked to the guy. The guy's like, we are indie. We
so
just make
indie.
whatever the F we want to make.
Right.
He might have dropped the F-bomb, actually.
Oh, he totally did. And he was like, EA doesn't tell me what to do. No one tells me what to say.
He might have even done a finger waggle.
He did a little,
a little bit of this.
No, he was feeling it. But I mean, it seemed genuine. He was
right?
like, EA's paying for
I mean,
part of this.
he scanned his brother's face and put it in the game,
And he's doing his own mocap, and like, that's so cool, yeah. I mean, that feels indie to me, I gotta say.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But so that was my wonderful indie day.
Oh,
so
that's
was
a
really
pretty
fun.
good day. I hope I'm going to get time to do some indie stuff. I mean, my to-dos for today are to wrap up the South Hall, need to play some Square Enix games, because that's my jam.
Yeah, you do.
I want to try and jump and get a Sonic ring. They have a really bizarre setup just as you come into the hall, where they got this little trampoline and then, a ring.
Pretty big trampoline.
Dangling above it. Now, according to the signs, I haven't asked them, but if you grab it, you'll be in with a chance of winning like $1,000 or $10,000 or something.
It's like 1,000 or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's like my salary for 10 years. So really
we
got to
should get on
that.
that. We should all get in line right now.
It's why I've got my pins out, really, just to aid mobility.
I thought that was just for me.
Well, it's got to give the public what they want. I mean,
all right.
like I say to the crowd.
Right. The crowd gathered here.
The crowd of Matt fans.
Yes.
Hey,
that guy.
Hey. All right, I'll be over soon. So last day.
Day 3.
Yeah. Is there anything you're going to try and squeeze in?
So I'm on the stage a lot actually this afternoon. We're going to do a lot of gameplay this afternoon.
I say, oh no, that's your job, but
no, it's good.
Okay.
But I do want to see more of the floor. So I'm going to try to sneak out and maybe see the West Hall because I haven't even.
Oh, you haven't even
been
touched that.
there. Yeah,
that's
like
where
Nintendo's
Nintendo
there.
is. Yeah,
I want to see that. So maybe I'll sneak over there.
Yeah. For me, maybe just try and jump and get a Sonic ring and win money.
Oh, good.
Is that part of my job?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, you're hired.
Well, yeah, that's it for us at the Engadget E3 Daily Show, and it's our final daily show.
Final day. We'll be back at the end to close it all out.
Oh yes, we're going to get drunk.
We're going to get drunk outside. No, we're going to have
those
classy
lines.
drinks.
We're going to have classy drinks in flutes.
Yes.
Yes, champagne flutes.
Yes.
So yeah, please join us later. Stay tuned to the live stage for more interviews, more games, lots more E3 news as well on Engadget.com. Thanks for watching. See you soon.